Yeah, with my puppy. Oh, this is my puppy. He was from Slim. George asked him. George asked him, Slim, can Lennie have one of your puppies? Because George had promised me. He promised me I could have a puppy to stroke and pet. But now I have my puppy, and he's not like the mice. No, I can pet him and everything, and he won't get hurt. No, because I don't want to hurt my puppy. George had promised me by that place, the river place, that I could have a puppy. He told me, don't go killing no mice, Lennie. That's bad. And keep dead mouse in my pocket so I can stroke it. George says it's bad. So he gave me a puppy instead, and I can play with him and make him grow, and then I can play with him some more. George told me by that place in the river, he told me, Lennie, you get in any trouble. He told me, if I get into any trouble, if I had to get into any trouble, then I would go. I can't remember what he told me, but he told me to go somewhere, and I had to do it, and I have to remember because George said, don't remember, Lennie. You're not going to be able to tend your rabbit, and I have to tend the rabbit. George says, if I do what I did and read, then I won't be able to tend my rabbit. And weed, George says, and weed, I wanted to, oh, touch that pretty red dress, the pretty one that was soft, just like my puppy is soft. I wanted to touch that dress, but George says, no, no, Lennie, that's a bad thing. So I can't touch the puppy anymore, the red dress, but I can touch my puppy. And and if I'm good, if I do what George says, then he says I can go, we can have a little piece of land, and we can live off the fat of the land, and we can have some cows and some pigs, and when it rains in the winter, we'll say, to hell with it, and we won't go to work, and we'll just sit in by the fireplace. Good dream. And and I said to Lennie, we're not like all the other ones. We're not lonely, or we could. He has me to look after him, and I have him to look after me. And we are friends, and George will take care of me, and I will take care of George, because nobody can harm George, not like that nasty crook. He said, someone harmed George, and I said, no, nobody harmed George, because George, George is my friend, and he wouldn't let nobody harm him. George says we're not related. He says I got hit in the head with a horse, and he says no, that's not true either. So we're not related anymore. But when we came to the ranch, I don't remember where the ranch was. I thought I lost my papers, but George had them. George had my back in that one. And he said to the boss, damn, I ain't smart. He told him, no, Lennie's not smart, but he's mighty strong. Yes, I am. I am mighty strong. I can lift 400 pounds of bait. Yes, I can. That's what George said. I can lift 400 pounds of bait, and I ain't smart, but I can lift a lot. And he says I'm a very good worker. George knows. And then that Carlson man, he says to Candy, Candy, no. Candy, kill that dog of yours. And Candy's gonna help us build a house. He's gonna cook and he's gonna clean. While I look after my rabbits. And I'm gonna have so many rabbits on our land, and I'm gonna give them alfalfa, and I'm gonna look after them, and they're gonna be yellow rabbits and green rabbits, and I can look after my rabbits any way I want. And when those cats want to come and eat my rabbits, I told Georgia no, that I would run after them and I would break their legs because nobody's gonna harm my rabbits. Nope, not even them. And I said, and then George, George told me, this place, bad place. I told him, George, let's get out of here, George. Let's get out of here, because it's mean here. But George said, no, no, Lennie, we have to stay to the end of the month. We'll have 50 bucks, and then we can get our land with Candy, because now he's going to help us get the land. And and the boss, he asked me a lot of questions. He asked me, why are we traveling together? But George said, Lennie, you're not going to talk. So I had to not talk. I remembered what George said. Because he said, if you remember, you can tend the rabbit. So I remembered. But the man, he asked me He asked me and I had to answer. And I told George, George, he asked me a question. But then George told me, stay away from Curly. This little man, he hit me once. He hit me, and then George said, don't let Lennie hit him back, hit him back. And I hit him back. Yes, I did. I hit him back. And I broke his hand, but nobody can tell. No, nobody knows what happened to Curly. Nobody can tell. It was me who broke his hand. And then that pretty woman with the pretty legs, she come in and she talked to me. And she has really pretty legs and they're long and pretty and I was just staring at them. But George said, no, she's trouble. But she had pretty legs and she had a pretty dress like that red one. Like that red one, it was pretty and she had the red nails and they were pretty too. And she was probably really soft and I had to touch her because she's really pretty. And I can look after my rabbits if I'm here for another month. George said he has to stay here for another month. He can't go. And I really love George and he told me he had to look after me because the woman told George he had to look after me. She would be very upset if George wasn't looking after me. But George looks after me and I look after him and we're gonna be together and I'm gonna be good because George says if I'm not good, I can't go tend my rabbits, and if I'm not good, I'm gonna have to go live in a cave because George says if I wasn't with you, Lennie, I would have my 50 bucks, but and I can go to the cat house and I can have everything I want, but I told George, George, no, because we have to tend the rabbits together. So I'm not gonna let you go away, and I'm gonna be good. And I'm not gonna ask for no ketchup for my beans no more. I'm gonna say, George, I don't want no ketchup, and you can have all the ketchup you want for your beans, and I won't take any of it. And and then we can live off the fat of the land, and I can give my rabbits some alfalfa, and I can play with my puppy. I really like soft things.